Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 already of the Behind the Boards podcast series following the Holy Family Catholic High School boys hockey team's 2021 hockey season. Episode 5 already, so week 5 of the season so far. Really strong start to the season by the Fire, going 4-2. With a couple big games coming up in the next week or two. This is the most important time of the season for the boys, and we will be talking to Captain Noel Rahn later on in the show. But for right now, we will be talking about the huge upset, which was the Blake game on Saturday. Shooting-wise, it was close. 30 shots for Blake, 38 shots for the Fire. From that, you'd think a 1 or 2 goal game, but no, the Fire really pulled an upset that nobody thought that they would, beating Blake 5-1. Blake was ranked 13th in the state. They had a huge win over Wayzata, and it was just a big win. Not really any other words to describe it, but everybody, played their heart out. Everybody was, paying close attention, and it was just a fun game to watch. No doubt in my mind. Going over kind of scoring summary, first period. First shot on net actually for the Fire. Mark Lund was able to get it past the goaltender, Axel Reed, who is a top 5 goalie in the state. Reed went huge part of Blake's state run last year, getting 4th in state, I believe, because they lost to St. Thomas Academy in the 3rd place game. But they lost to Eden Prairie in the semifinals of state. As Blake, they had their huge shootout win over Benilde St. Margaret's in the section final. So Lund got a goal off the assist. Charlie Lindbergh, who had 0 points going into Saturday's game, had played the previous 5 games as a defender. Coach Rahn decided to bring him up to forward, and he ended up getting 4 assists. So that was an extremely smart move by Coach Rahn that clearly, helped the team out a lot. So Mark Lund scored first shot on net. Sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked there, but yeah, Mark Lund did score on the Fire's first shot on net, off the assist from Charlie Lindbergh and Nick Blood. Not too long later, Blake was able to score, tying it up 1-1. Will Matzke from Rowan Heidoff. And then later on in the period, close to the end, Luke Roloff's off the assists from Nick Blood and Charlie Lindbergh again. Roloff's was able to just snipe it past Reed. Just strongest shot, and with Roloff's, who has one of the strongest shots on the team, that's going to be hard for any goaltender to save, and clearly was too much for Reed. And from there, second period, pretty quiet period, but Mark Lund was able to score again from the assists, Charlie Lindbergh and Noel Rahn, who we will be speaking to later again. But his first game back from wrist injury, got a point up on the board. Super fun to see. 2 points, actually. Third period, on the power play, Ben Redden went coast to coast. Pretty much went through the whole entire Blake team, including the Blake goaltender. Was able to go forehand, backhand, and slide it into the goal. It was just fun. It was a fun play to watch. Definitely one of the best goals of the season for the Fire. And then a little bit later on, Jake Cameron got a shorthanded goal off the assist from Mark Lund. They played some tic-tac-toe down the ice and was able to score the goal. And also Jack Olson, huge game, 30 shots on net, 29 saves for a .967 save percentage. For Olson, who has had some moments this season, or some periods rather, like the second period of St. Thomas Academy and St. Thomas, of the St. Thomas Academy game, and the second period of the Eden Prairie game, where he got a lot of shots and wasn't quite able to get the saves that he would have liked. But this game he got the saves that he would have liked 100%. Blake scored a good goal in the first period. Nothing that Jack could have done, but after that he was shut down. Huge game for him from just the snipers of Blake. Blake has so many forwards that just can snipe most goalies in the state except for a few, and part of that few is Jack Olson. He played great. Looking forward to the games this week. We have St. Michael Albertville on Tuesday at STMA, and then a rematch against St. Thomas Academy on Saturday. The Fire will try to avenge the 7-0 loss that happened first game of the season. So, but first, looking at the St. Michael Albertville game, St. Michael's played a lot of games already played 8 games, 2-6 on the season. Losses to Benilde, Eden Prairie, Blake, Wayzata, Minnetonka, and Wayzata again, with wins against Moorhead and Buffalo. So, really, if you look at their losses, they have 6 losses, but all 6 of them are against top 15, potentially top 10 teams in the state, depending on where you rank Wayzata and Minnetonka. Actually, after Minnetonka's performance against Eden Prairie, they lost 9-5, but scoring 5 goals on Eden Prairie is pretty dang impressive. So, Minnetonka for sure probably moved up in the rankings a little bit. As of last week, they were unranked, actually. So they for sure will be in the rankings this week, 100%. So, good for the Skippers. Testing and Prairie a little bit, but back to St. Thomas Academy, they don't have that bad losses. This is a team that they're looking for to get in the win column again. In one of, if not the hardest conference in the state, with Eden Prairie, Wayzata, Edina, and Minnetonka. But that win against Moorhead looks really good for him, 4-3, and then a pretty much stomping of Buffalo, as well as a 2-1 loss to Blake, tight game with Blake, and 6-2 loss to Eden Prairie. So, within 4 goals of Eden Prairie is pretty impressive. Also, they have, 2 guys who really are strong, Zach Miller and JP Johnson. Miller with 8 points, and JP Johnson with 5 points. Those are going to be the 2 guys that the Fire have to shut down. Miller, the senior, and then Johnson, the junior. Both shorter guys who, aren't super flashy, but they get the job done. And yeah, it's a team that they're dangerous, no doubt in my mind. They are dangerous, and they're looking to get in the win column again. So that should be a fun game as the Fire travel up to St. Michael Albertville at the St. Michael Rec Center, 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And then also St. Thomas Academy. St. Thomas Academy so far, top 5 team in the state, top 3 team in many people's rankings. In the kind of official state of hockey rankings, they were ranked 4th. Will probably fall because of that loss to Edina to probably the 7 or the 6, but will most likely still be in the top 10. Wins against Hastings, Holy Family, of course, Tartan, Hastings again, Simley, South St. Paul, and a 6-5 win over Hill Murray, OT on Saturday, just a day after their Edina loss, 3-2. So, but that, Edina is a team that traditionally they crush everybody, but the last couple seasons they aren't really crushing people, but they can beat anybody in the state on any night, and they did just that with St. Thomas Academy. Of course, we talked about it in the first episode. Jackson Hallam, the Vegas Golden Knights draft pick, the University of Michigan signee, 20 points in 8 games, 8 goals, 12 assists. He's averaging 2.5 points a game. Tyler Graham as well, the junior averaging over 2 points a game. And then Jared Wright, the Colgate commit, 8 goals, 8 assists, also averaging 2 points a game, as well as youngsters Tommy Cronin and Max Nagel. They're looking good. It's a strong team that, they're big, they're fast, they're physical, and they score. And goaltending so far, Carson Lardy, .893 save percentage, but he does have 2 shutouts. He has a lot of shots on net. He's gotten a lot of shots this season, but has came up pretty big with 151 saves on 169 shots on net. So for sure, I think this will just come down to a battle of goaltending. Will Olsen be able to stay in the same form, that he did versus Blake, showing up one of the best, goaltending performances in probably Holy Family hockey history. It was incredible against a team that good. And then St. Thomas Academy, Carson Lardy, although inconsistent, but when he's on, he looks like a top 3 goalie in the state probably. So that's going to be big, as well as defense. Noel Rahn will be in the game this time, so that'll be huge for the Fire, as well as lines, a bit more chemistry mixed up between the lines, and just experience in general with the team as last time. They didn't have a game on the season so far, so that's going to be huge that they're going to have 7 games under their belt, hoping for a 5-2 record going into that St. Thomas Academy game. So yeah, and coming up, we will have Noel Rahn on the podcast. So 1 second here, we'll get him on. All right, and now we have Noel on the show.
Hi.
What's up, Noel? Okay, so first off, beating Blake was a huge win. What was the key to you guys winning that game?
Well, something that we've been lacking in is playing the full 3 periods. So getting a lot of shots on net, playing every period pretty well, and then playing physical right from the get-go and scoring right away really helped. And it was really nice to get a win at home.
Yeah, so how did that feel, besides, getting the win at home, to beat a top 15 team in the state?
It was really nice. Obviously, Jack played super good, as well as our forwards and our defense. We were a lot better in our defensive zone. Our power play was really good. Everything was just really going our way, so it was really nice to win against a top 15 team.
Yeah, and then, your first game back, out for about the first third of the season. How did that feel to get back on the ice?
It felt really good. Like I said, it's nice to get a win against top 15 team at home. So I'm really excited to keep this going, and I'm really excited to play St. Michael tomorrow. And I believe something really happened after our game on Saturday, and we're a lot better and a new team.
Yeah, for sure. And then, St. Michael, obviously, not the best start of their season for them. What's going to be the attitude going into that game?
Yeah, we just can't take them lightly. They're 2-6, but they got a tough schedule. Definitely not a 2-6 team. And we've lost them the last 2 years, and last year really stung because we lost to them 7-6 in overtime. So I'm really excited to go back and play them tomorrow night and hope for some revenge.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, your rematch against St. Thomas Academy on Saturday. What's going to be different this time around playing them?
Our first game, it was kind of a fluke. It was just our first game in a while. I believe we're a lot different team from when we played them the first time. So, but they got some really talented players, and we gotta be cautious when they're out there. But I'm really excited to play them, and I think it's gonna be a lot closer game. I'm really excited to play them.
Yeah, well, thanks, Noel, for being on the podcast this week. Good luck, this week for your second and third game of the season. And thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 5 of the Behind the Boards podcast series. Thank you, everybody. God bless.